Hi. So it's been a few minutes since I did one of these, and I don't know. I guess I'm excited that it is. I know it's time, and if I'm only making these so I can remember, then it's worth it. Because Lord knows He's used it to remind me what He's shown me time and time again. So we're gonna treat this like that. For anyone who stumbles upon this and listens, just gonna hear me process this out loud and just go with it. Okay, so gates. When I read the word, words pop out to me, and He uses those to teach me about His heart and about who we are. And not too long ago, I don't know, it was last month sometime, the word gates was on my heart. It was one that as I read, I just wanted to know more about it. I have heard different messages preached about it, and I just wanted to hear from the Lord what it was, what gates really were. I mean, we've heard the gates of hell shall not prevail against you, when He was talking to Peter, and He said, I'll give you the keys of the kingdom. On you I will build this church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail. We've heard about the Old Testament, the gates where, David sat at the gate, different kings sat at the gate. We know Boaz went to the gate to act as Ruth's kinsman redeemer when he wanted to marry her and redeem the fortune that was lost when her husband passed away. So I've heard a lot about gates. So I'm in Zechariah, and I am reading Zechariah's prophecy about what is going on now and what is going to happen in the future. Now, the future being when the Messiah would come and how things will change, right? So whenever we read that in that day, we have to realize we're living in that day, okay? So I'm reading this, and it's in Zechariah 8, talking in verse 16. It jumps out loud at me. Of our only jobs now is to speak every man to his neighbor, and execute judgment of truth and peace in your gates. And so there's that word again, gates. And I'm like, I need to know. So I looked it up on my handy app. Those of you I've sat with for more than 10 minutes probably have this app because I tell everybody about it. And it's a free app called Pocket Sword. And it will, when you change your preferences to show the Strong's Greek and Hebrew letter or numbers, it will, after every word in the Bible, it has the King James Version, it will show you the original Greek for the New Testament and the original Hebrew for the Old Testament. And when you tap on that number, you can see what the word was. You can see the original Hebrew letters for it, or Greek. But this is Zechariah, so Old Testament is Hebrew. You can see the letters that made up that word. And once you learn more about Hebrew, you may already know this, Hebrew is numbers and letters. Okay, so every number has a corresponding letter and vice versa. Like, they don't just write numbers. The letter is the number. And they have pictures. And so every letter has a picture. So I saw this word, and it was 3 letters, and it's Shin, Ayin, and Resh, and you pronounce it Sha'ar. And it means, so the word gate, we're back to an opening, a door, a gate, right? And I'm like, okay, that's not really unexpected. I totally get that. And you can see root words on there, and you can click and see where the root word of this is. And the root word is from, it looks almost identical. It has just a little triangle above the word, again, shar, and meaning to split open, to act as a gatekeeper, to think. Like, you'll have to look at it for yourself and download it, but you'll see the crux of the entire thing is summed up in the last 2 words, to think. So this root word of this gate, this opening in that's a door, is from the root word of to think. And he instantly showed me, your thoughts, Lisa, your thoughts are the gateway that you've been trying to figure this out. Like, what I mean with this, it is where everything stems from. And he reminded me, he took me to 2 Corinthians, I think it's 2 Corinthians 10, where he talks about we need to cast down every high thought and imagination that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. And then in Ephesians 6, where he talks about we fight not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities in the heavenly places, right? And then we have to put on our different armor. So he keeps telling us that this fight is not the fight we think, that it is a spiritual fight, that the enemy is playing there, but he's talking about our imaginations, right? So I'm getting that. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So I looked at the letters themselves, the 3 letters. Remember I said Shin, Ayin, and Resh. Hebrew reads from right to left if you're going to get that app. So although you see the 3 letters, you start from the right letter, middle, and then the left. That's how you read it. So the first letter of this word is shin, which is a picture of the tooth, like a mouth. The next letter is ayin, which is a picture is an eye. The third letter is resh, which the picture is a head. Okay? And I was just instantly was like, oh my gosh, what goes in our mouth, like, or come out, what we speak, what we see affects our head.